This is the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Dishing out another episode, just chilling with the crew. I'm just gonna pass it off to the craft man tonight, man. I'm just gonna let the craft man introduce this episode. We just chilling, chopping it up Friday night. These are our best episodes. Craft man, what we doing tonight, man?
We're just gonna talk about these fantasy finishes from last year, talk about these guys, and go down the list and try to figure out if it's going to be the same come next year or if it was a fluke or if it can be sustained.
But can it be sustained, Kraft? But can it be sustained, man? That's what we're naming this episode.
Got one thing to say. It is Friday night, so there's going to be some, got to put the explicit next to the episode. Y'all got kids. Not the episode to listen to with kids in the car, but parents, I got to tell y'all something. Y'all's kids, they got worse mouths than y'all think they do. They got worse mouths than we got. I played Xbox Live with these potty mouths.
I play Xbox Live with them all the time, man.
Dude, they be offending me big time, man. I tell you, boys that still sound like girls, they ain't hit puberty yet. They be saying some nasty shit. So... But this is a fantasy podcast. Sorry we went off on that. We're talking fantasy tonight. Sorry.
Man, Crap, you seem a little salty about something. These dudes getting in your head a little bit. Talking that shit.
I used to be them.
Sounds like you're getting shit on in them Call of Duty lobbies by them kids.
They've been saying some nasty, disgusting stuff about me. And I don't know. It's tough when you let little 12-year-olds offend you like that, but I got to stoop down to their level sometime when I pop the sniper right in their face. Tell them about what happened.
That's just too funny, man. Chris, I know you can relate.
I talk so much shit. It's ridiculous. I have been banned from being able to use my microphone. I talk so much shit in certain stuff.
That's just hilarious.
Because I ain't got no filter. I am not politically correct when I'm coming at people. I do not give a fuck.
I be getting upset. They're like, where you live, you little shit? Where you live? I can't find it on your profile. I'll find you, though. I will find you and your family.
Man. Y'all are fucking funny, man.
Gang's getting you upset, man.
I'm a little baked tonight. Crash, drinking a little bit. Chris is always high. All right, then. So let's talk about these leaders. I guess add the podcast and add us on shit.
Man, hit the subscribe button. That's what we need. We need you to subscribe to the YouTube. Right. That's what we need. Subscribe to the YouTube. I see people watching it. You like this kind of content. We're going to be doing this all off season. This is what we're going to be doing in the off season. We got mock drafts. We're going to talk rookies, recaps, player recaps. We're going to hit all of this stuff.
Right. Yep. Straight facts.
Yep.
For real.
Subscribe so we can provide.
Oh man, people are already like, well, y'all just fucking talk about some football, man.
They're leaving already.
I'll put something in the description to be like, all right, you might want to skip like the first 5 minutes.
Man, hey, we'll just go ahead and give it to them, but fuck y'all if you're complaining. Nah, I'm just kidding. All right, man, let's hit these leaders then. Let's break it on down. Can it be sustained? That is the question. How are we gonna do this, Craft? You just want to name a player that it can't be sustained, or we'll just drop down, do the top 10? Well, let's just start off with quarterbacks. We'll just hit the quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts. We're doing I got points per game. Me and you discussed this before we hopped on. Points per game. Heck, I got Jalen Hurts on there. But hold on, what you got? What number you got, though, Craft Man?
I got Jalen Hurts finishing number 1 in fantasy points per game at 26.8, beating out Mahomes and Josh Allen. So that's what I'm looking
I
at.
got 27.9, finishing in third.
What, fantasy points per game? I'm
Season
on
average.
Fantasy Pros, but it could be just different scoring
Yeah,
settings. Some teams do like four points for a touchdown. Some places do 6 points for a touchdown. So passing touchdowns. So.
Jalen Hurts won QB1 this year and a points per game standpoint. Can it be sustained? I say hell no. Shit ain't ever happening again. Shit was a fluke. Nah, I'm just kidding. I could definitely see Jalen Hurts doing this again. Got the rushing upside. Hey, their offense was just smooth this year. I underestimated their offense during the whole offseason last year, and they came and did this. Man, it could be sustained, Kraft. But Kraft, man, can it be sustained?
It can be sustained. How many times are we gonna say sustained? And I want to count how many times we're gonna say sustained in this episode. But yeah, I think he could do it again. He was great. The yardage, passing yardage, 3,472. That ain't much, but 22 touchdowns passing. All his rushing upside, 700. He had 13 rushing touchdowns this year. We all know when it gets to the 1 yard line with Jalen Hurts, and that's why I like him so much. Is that QB sneak at the 1 yard line? And most teams will hand the ball off right there, but if they're on the 1-2 yard line, they're running it in. No Jamal Williams type shit on this Eagles offense, right, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, shit. I don't even. Him just being on the 1 yard line. Hell, this motherfucker might break a damn run at the 30. I mean, he runs a lot. You got shit. I remember watching him against. I think it was it against Green Bay. That man had like 100 rushing yards in the first quarter, almost.
Yeah, you ain't got to remind me of that. You don't have to.
Well, I mean, it just so happens they were playing the Packers that day. It was just he did it. That's crazy.
Yeah, but they
Plus, he
played
gets all
17
the
other
rushing
games. You could have
touchdowns.
mentioned another game that he played. There was 17.
Well, I mean, another game that he played, he didn't get 100 yards on him in the first quarter.
Yeah,
just
that's
hold
hilarious.
on. Just hold on to that one, Chris. Hold on to it.
I believe he's got like 2 top 10. I mean, didn't Devontae Smith finish in the top 10? Maybe wide receiver 9, something like that. Got a top 5 tight end. Got who knows? They might upgrade at running back. I mean, who knows? I mean, Philly's got it rolling. I think Philly has a chance to win the Super Bowl. So I guess when we put it, we might as well tell everybody when we putting this one out. Let's see. It's a Friday night. We got what we got this week? We got Philly and San Fran and dang man, my stupid
Chiefs
ass.
and the
Cincinnati.
Bengals. Damn.
Yeah, Chiefs and the Bengals. I really can't wait for that one. So, but yeah, Philly. Yep, I think it could be sustained. Anything else to say?
Nope. I think he definitely got a chance to finish number 1 next year, and he'll be drafted in the top 3 rounds in redraft and in the first 5 picks in the Superflex Dynasty. So that's where we're at with Jalen Hurts. But these other guys, Mahomes, we'll just hit Mahomes and Allen right quick. They finished number 2, number 3. Mahomes probably gonna win MVP this year. 5,048 passing yards and 40 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Ridiculous. Straight up ridiculous year from old Patty. We can make this one quick. He's been doing it for a long time. There's no reason to even think he's not going to sustain this. The same thing with Josh Allen, right? That'd be fine.
Yeah, them two definitely the best. In dynasty rankings, they're 1 and 2. Most likely, I don't know. Y'all might throw Jalen Hurts up in there. But Either way, these guys, they're, not much to say about them. It can be sustained. Joe Burrow at 4. Is that what y'all got? You got Joe Burrow at 4, Craft Man?
Yeah, got Burrow at 4.
To me, that's another one that could be sustained. I was kind of doubting it after last year. I mean, he might not finish 4 this next year, but I could see him finishing top 4 again. Yeah, I could see him finishing higher with these guys. So it's like, in my eyes, yes, it's sustainable. These guys that we talking about here, too easy, man. What you think, Craft Man?
Who in these rankings that you're looking at here would, if Joe Burrow were to fall next year, what quarterbacks do you think kind of underperformed? Obviously, Justin Herbert down there at QB 12, in my opinion. But if Joe Burrow, say you're coming into a draft next year, just a redraft league, where you want to take this guy? Are you taking him with the elites, or is it just going to be one of them quarterbacks that you're just going to probably fade and do the late quarterback ordeal? Or would you take him like in the 3rd or 4th round in redraft?
Talk about Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Man, I think you got to put him up there with the elites. That's how I see him now. That's how I view him. Rounds 3 and 4, because he ain't going to make it a couple more rounds later, I feel like. Especially if he goes to the Super Bowl this year. Again, people going to be taking him real high, I feel like.
But would you draft Burrow in like the 3rd round, or would you just wait and draft like Trevor Lawrence or something in like that, like the 7th round, 6th round or something like that?
You know where I stand. T-Law. Maybe even Justin Herbert, though. I feel like he might drop a little bit. So, guys like that, definitely not going to wait as late as I have in the past. Got to have a good quarterback, I'm starting to think. It's worth going after them guys. But I've never drafted a quarterback in the 3rd round, so I don't know, man. It just seems a little too high. So I would feel more comfortable getting like either buying the dip on Herbert.
Yeah.
Or
I think
yeah.
things have changed a little bit though, the way the early quarterbacks have gone, because we just talked about Hurts, Mahomes, and really Mahomes and Allen for the past freaking 3 years. You're gonna get a great quarterback. There's no question about it. So, I don't mind taking early QBs nowadays. It ain't what it used to be. Then we got to, change a couple things that we used to do. What do you think, Chris? Is Burrow at number 4? Like, come next year, do you expect him to be at number 4 again?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely sustainable. Anytime you can throw the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the other side, and then Tyler Boyd had some good games this year. Hurst has had some good games. I know if we're talking redraft, I still don't know if you drafted him early in a redraft, because he might fall a little bit, maybe like a round or 2 later than you'd think. But Superflex, this dude's probably going in the top 5 picks. I know they got projected Jalen Hurts at the 4th pick. Right after that is Burrow.
Yeah.
Or right before him in most drafts. So
my guy, number 4, Joe Shiesty.
Yep. Who we got next, Craft Man?
At number 5 this year, points per game, and this is where it gets murky. This is where it gets good. This is what I wanted to get into by doing this episode. You got, we're going to hit the same category here. So Justin Fields, points per game, 20 points per game. He's at number 5. But then after him, you got Lamar, Kyler, Geno. We'll talk about them guys right quick. Lamar, Kyler, and Geno. How you want to rank these guys as far as dynasty goes? And do you expect the same rushing upside from, say, Justin Fields? He had the most rushing attempts this year and 1,143 rushing yards with 8 touchdowns this year. Is that happening again? Almost 1,200 rushing yards from a quarterback. That's about damn ridiculous.
That's insane. I mean,
Did you know he rushed for that many yards?
Nah, I didn't. I'm just being honest. I mean, hell, I'm just being real. Lamar, I would rank it. Well, first of all, Lamar, if you're doing Lamar, Kyler, Geno, I mean, obviously Geno's last on that. I would go Lamar.
Sure.
That
I would
cannot be
go.
sustained.
No, that one's not being sustained. I agree. Geno, that ain't happening. We even had him on our sell high list, shit like that. Lamar, though, I think it can be sustained and even better. But I mean, I don't know how this is gonna play out, this little Baltimore, but I think eventually he's gonna get some better shit. He's either gonna get some weapons here in Baltimore, or this dude's gonna end up gone. Is what I'm thinking. So it's got to get better. So I mean, still got Mark Andrews, still have Rashad Bateman. Hopefully, he can get back. I mean, they got to be in the market to get a wide receiver. You would think if they got an Addison, give them a player like that. So I don't know, man. I just don't think Lamar's going to be quarterbacking anywhere but Baltimore. I think it would be crazy for him to leave, or if that happened. Like Baltimore, they would be stupid to let a quarterback go like this, and Lamar would be just. I wouldn't leave Baltimore if I'm just being honest. I mean, what you think about that? I wouldn't go to Atlanta. I mean, I want him to come to Atlanta, but I'm not leaving Baltimore to go to the Falcons. Are you serious? You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, it's all the team. It's all what the Ravens want because Lamar has no leverage. He can be franchise tagged. I mean, the only thing he could just say is, I'm going to sit out if y'all tag me. And then the Ravens can explore trade options. But as of right now, he's not an unrestricted free agent. Like, he can just go anywhere he wants. It's not that kind of deal for him. So I expect him to be back. And if they franchise tag him, there might be a holdout. But
I don't think he's gonna play. I don't think he'll play if they franchise tag him.
You make a lot of money on that tag, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'd play on the tag. Kirk Cousins played on the tag so many times. He was making money because he was definitely getting overpaid them years. But I don't know. I guess you want the guaranteed money and the years on the contract, stuff like that. But yeah, Lamar can be sustained. I can still see him being a QB1. What you say about that, Crab? I think he can still do it.
QB1?
I would say it's likely he doesn't, but I'm just saying I think he could though.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. His rushing upside's way up there with like Justin Fields. We talked about almost 1,200 rushing yards from him. Lamar can do that. He needs another weapon. If they can put some pieces around him, then yeah, he can. But even when he was healthy this year, the first like 4 weeks, he was blowing up. He was the QB1 the first couple weeks, but then it kind of tampered off a little bit. Yeah. When Bateman got hurt, because Bateman was the focal point of that offense, man. Bateman was the guy.
For sure. So can it be sustained though, Chris? But can it be sustained? All right, then let's move on to Kyler. Can it be sustained?
What?
Shit, what was he? 6, 5, number 5, number 6? Hell yeah, it could be sustained. Kyler Murray's got the rushing upside. I don't know, like the Cliff Kingsbury's gone, so you know,
things are looking up.
Yep, things are looking up. Maybe they'll button up a little bit. Maybe Kyler will be better. I mean, I like Kyler. So, I mean, I ain't gonna say at real football, I'd be like going insane. Like the student needs to button up, but fantasy wise, I like Kyler is up there with anybody. So,
yeah,
buy the dip on Kyler right now. Go out there and get you some Kyler Murray. But yeah, it could be sustained. Kraft, you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, I just think he is probably lower on the list than he could finish. I think he could finish in the top 3 or so, full healthy year. He'd be a good one to go after next year. Well, with the ACL ordeal and redraft, I don't know. But I think he's definitely going to be a deal in dynasty startups because of the injury. He'll probably drop a lot further than he probably should. He's got a long-term deal, and everything around him is okay. He can create on his own, so he'll be just fine.
Right.
But I want to talk about some of these fakes over here.
Pull out the frauds, bro.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of these frauds. Geno Smith finishes, yes. Points per game, he was QB8, and he was QB5 on the year in total fantasy points. Do y'all expect, what kind of year, this is the question, what kind of year, Chris, do you expect out of Geno next year? If you had to say where he's going to finish in QB rankings, like where would you have this guy?
Not at 5, where he finished now for sure. I mean, I think that he probably could be in the top 10. Like, he could squeak in at like 10, 9, because, I mean, he's still got some weapons over there. You know, I mean, he's got DK Metcalf. As much as I don't think what Tyler Lockett's been doing can be sustained, he does it every fucking year where he's just, you know, he just sustains it. I mean, we had a situation in our football league, man. That's just Jordan had Tyler Lockett, and I was just like, man, I don't know how you can run your fantasy league if this dude's like your wide receiver 2. And I mean, he was winning until Breece Hall got injured. So,
yep, he
but
was.
I could see him creeping in there. But realistically, I would see him around like 11 and 12. Because I mean, I don't know if he's going to have the same success there.
Yeah,
and plus,
man.
I mean, you know, we don't even know for sure if he's going to be the starter at this point, as of right now.
Man, it definitely can't be sustained. Definitely not. Dude's trash, man. He ain't shit. Nah, I'm just kidding, but he did have a good year though. But I just don't know how. I was saying this was gonna be one of the worst offenses in the league. I was fading Metcalf. I was fading Lockett. And here we are. So no, it ain't gonna happen. I'm like what Chris said, like 11, 12 range maybe. Like I don't know. I'd probably rather have Daniel Jones. I mean, who else am I thinking? Kirk Cousins.
Well, I got a couple names right here for y'all who just tell me if you think they're going to finish higher. Chris, Kirk Cousins come next year. We're just talking about redraft at this point. And you can give a little dynasty take too, but obviously Trevor Lawrence, do you think he'll finish higher next year than Geno? Not dynasty wise, but just next year.
Yeah.
And what about Tua if he comes back?
He's got the weapons too. He's got better weapons than Geno does.
Dak?
I mean, Dak's got weapons too. Dak just chokes in the playoffs. Dak's a good quarterback. He just sucks whenever it's big time.
Jared Goff over Geno next year.
Oh yeah.
With Jameson Williams back. Yeah, over Geno.
Herbert finished below him. I'll put him. Tom Brady wherever he goes. If he goes somewhere, would you rather have Brady over Geno?
I don't know, man. I'd probably take Geno then. That's my threshold right there.
Yeah, that might be my threshold after what I saw from Tom this year.
Tom looked a little stale, a little old.
That puts him right at the bottom end, like Chris said. The bottom end of a QB1, like QB 12, QB 10. Something on those lines right there. But do y'all have, looking at y'all's rankings, do y'all have any quarterback that, besides Justin Herbert, that finished so low? Is there one that y'all see down here that is a lot better than his rankings, than his finish last year, that you think deserves a little bit more credit? What do you think, Matt? Anybody in mind?
I mean, maybe Jared Goff. I mean, but I feel like my rankings look different than y'all's. Mine's got Jared Goff at 17. It's got y'all down there at 17.
Yeah, I'm looking at where they finished on the year.
He's down. Yeah, he's on down. And Russell Wilson, way down there. He's going to come back and ball out next year. He's going to be the best quarterback you ever seen.
Nah, man. Nah, I'm just kidding. Go buy
Falling
low.
into the trap.
Buy low on that Russell Wilson dip. Any more? Is there any off the top of your head that can't be sustained though, Kraft?
That can't be sustained.
Daniel
No.
Jones, can that be sustained?
Yeah, it can be. He did that with lack of weapons. I would expect them to go out and if they do re-sign him, I would expect them to go out and get some pass catching options for this guy. So I think he might be like a little buy low, not just a little buy low. He's about priced right.
Well, shit, let's just move over to these running backs then. Ready to slide over?
Let's do it.
Austin Eckler at the 101. But can that be sustained? And it's got Christian McCaffrey at 2. Josh Jacobs at 3. So, yeah, Eckler, can that be sustained, though, Kraft? Would you take Eckler at the 101 and redraft?
That's really tough.
What's the question? Who is the 101 in redraft? In fact, don't even answer. We'll talk about that one day. But yeah, Eckler, RB1 this year. Went the fuck off.
This man had 123 targets on the year. 103 receptions at running back.
I'm going to say as of now, it could be sustained, but I don't know what they're going to do in the draft. I seen a mock draft of them getting Bijan Robinson. You know how crazy that would be? Bijan going everywhere in mock drafts now. Everybody's just putting a little dream team together, I guess. But
Bijan goes to the Chargers. Are you drafting Bijan at the 101 in your rookie dynasty drafts?
If he goes to the Chargers, man,
he's
not
definitely
going to the
talented,
Chargers.
but I don't think he is either. But if he does, are you still taking him at the 101?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, it would depend on where the other guys go. If Jahmyr Gibbs went to the Eagles, I would take Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
What? Hot take.
Or the Rams or something. I mean, situation matters, Matt. You say it more than anybody.
Oh, it matters. For sure. I'm saying people are taking Bijan over quarterbacks and Superflex. So it makes me feel like there's just a gap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen a lot of Superflex mock drafts where they're talking about taking Bijan over Bryce Young and CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I do think Jahmyr Gibbs is good. Yeah,
Eckler had
go
more
to
receptions than Devontae Adams and the same amount of Stephon Diggs, more than A.J. Brown. I mean, that's about as safe as you're going to get picking next year in redraft for Eckler. Can't get no better than that. But going back to the Bijan thing, like you say, situation matters, Matt.
Yep.
You say it more than can it be sustained, man. You say that more than that.
CMC, it could be sustained, right?
Yeah, CMC's fine. He'll probably be the 101 next year.
I would definitely take Christian McCaffrey over Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would now, what I'm realizing.
If he can stay healthy.
I think I'm going to go ahead and at 3, 4, and 5, we got Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb at 6. Josh Jacobs cannot be sustained. He cannot be sustained, man. I'm going to be real. Let me go check it out. Josh Jacobs being the RB3 or whatever is shocking to me. But hold on.
I think he could be, if he re-signs with Vegas, he was the rushing leader this year.
Yeah,
and he looked so good. 5 yards per carry. I mean, I don't have anything against Jacobs. I don't know why you would say that, Matt. Why are you so disrespectful?
I just think he's going to be gone. Man, I don't know, man. His contract situation has been just baffling, or to me, to say the least. Not baffling, but I don't know, man. I just don't understand why they would not pick up this dude's 5th year. I mean, it looks like a crazy, stupid decision right now. I mean, you could have had it. I mean, are you really about to throw the bank at this dude at a running back? But the thing is, if Tom Brady pulls up into town, they might do it for real. Pay that guy. Give Tom Brady a running back. I mean, I definitely think it's possible he shows up in Las Vegas. So I don't know, man. So Josh Jacobs, I don't know, man. I mean, his situation can't possibly get better than Las Vegas. Is what I'm saying. Than what he just had. Is there? I mean, what situation is going to get better than that?
Not many. I would be happy if he just resigned with Vegas and you can just run it back. Still young. Had a healthy 51 receptions this year. That's good. I mean,
Yeah,
ain't nothing
dude.
I mean, that's a lot to like. Nick Chubb had 22. I mean, he's in the top. He's with the top dogs in pass catching too. He can do it all. So I definitely think if he resigns with Vegas that he'll be on borderline first, second rounder next year. And in Dynasty, he's going to be. Where'd you take him yesterday, Chris? Wasn't it like your third pick in the third round? Yeah,
Third round.
312, wasn't it? Because you had the last pick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because the 312 was when I got my back-to-back picks, and I took Jacobs.
Yeah. Jacobs is.
So-
I don't see no reason not to like him, Matt. It's your problem,
So
dude.
can it be sustained? Hell no. So
Yeah.
What y'all got? You say yes, Chris. You say yes. Now, what do you say?
Man, I don't know if he's gonna finish in like the top 3. You know, I could see him finishing around like 5 and 6, breaking that top 5, maybe even being 4. I just don't know about him getting this 1,653 yards like that again. If they bring in another quarterback, you know.
Well, who finishes? Who's if he resigns with Vegas? Who underperformed this year that you just think is going to come back with a vengeance come next year? That could be this. Who's going to be the Josh Jacobs of next year? If y'all had to take y'all's guess right now, because I got one in mind, and it's Kenneth Walker for me and Travis Etienne. I think them guys could sneak up there and be great for your team next year. They finish outside of the top 10, and they should be great. Those are my guys that I think really didn't, because Kenneth Walker missed a couple. Rashad Penny was the back for the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then he kind of come in and just showed out. So is there any guys in mind that y'all really like that just didn't perform this year? And which guys y'all scared of too?
Well, shoot, I'm scared of guys like Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb. I'm scared of all them older guys, man. Eventually, they gotta fall off. Joe Mixon.
Scared of them?
I would say James Conner, but I'll be seeing where he's going. Like when I was seeing where he was going in that Superflex mock draft, I would definitely take James Conner at the price
Got him in the
he's been
10th.
going. Yeah, so I say that, but when I think about somebody who could be the Josh Jacobs next year, I'm thinking about maybe another running back going into a contract year. Teams will use them up, type deal. Maybe J.K. Dobbins. Who else? On a last year of a deal or whatever, you trying to get paid. That's what I'm gonna start looking for in Dynasty. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm about to start looking for guys like that. So
Contract year, yeah. Got to show out.
Josh Jacobs definitely earned a lot of money. So I don't know. Just look for guys like that. Maybe carry you to a championship.
What are these guys worth in Dynasty? Eckler, McCaffrey, Jacobs. What would you pay up to get a Josh Jacobs right now? Say he resigns. Well, we ain't even gonna say he resigns yet. If you were to trade for him right now, what would y'all be willing to give up to get Josh Jacobs, not knowing where he'll be next year, Chris?
I mean, I'm in the situation where I have Josh Jacobs, and I ain't giving him up for anything less than like a top 3 pick and probably something else.
Yeah,
and something else.
Yeah, maybe like a late second, something like that, or a player, not like that valuable of a player. Like, yeah, all right, I would think like the 102 or 103 and like Jahan Dotson or something like that. Get another younger guy with that. I feel like that would be all right, acceptable.
Pretty fair value.
I
But
think it'll just be impossible to do. I don't know who's gonna buy. The thing is, it's like my thing about I've been saying you need to sell high on Josh Jacobs, but I don't know if there's just like a market for Josh Jacobs like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like Chris, you getting a lot of offers on Josh Jacobs?
I haven't gotten any offers for Josh Jacobs.
So I don't know. Like it
And I
definitely is gonna
got
take
Josh
more than the
Jacobs in a
first.
big package deal. He was just like thrown in there whenever
Mhm.
I got Josh Jacobs. So he won me a championship. So
That's what I'm saying, and it would definitely take more than the first to get Josh Jacobs. I think that's the thing about them running backs when they get rolling like that. You can't get one unless you overpay. So if you want to get Josh Jacobs, definitely gonna take first plus. I don't know though. Top 3 pick though. You could get a top 3 pick for Josh Jacobs. I might would just straight up do that. Maybe. Well, heck, I know I would actually. So, but still, it's gotta be a top 3, 4, or 5. I'd have to get some plus added on to that. That's how I see
Yep.
it.
Yep. Running
Because at
backs are
least if
kind
you
of
could,
like trucks,
yeah,
man. They just hold their value,
well,
even if they're pre-owned.
With Christian McCaffrey, there's no way in hell that I get Christian McCaffrey for what I paid for him at the beginning of the year. No way in hell that trade gets done. No. Because I traded Debo Samuel, Damian Harris, and a second round pick to get Christian McCaffrey. I just don't think that you gonna get Christian McCaffrey for that. No.
Draft your
yeah,
running backs. Draft your
yeah,
running backs in Dynasty.
yeah. Well, hell, Chris just went and paid up and won a championship.
I
But
tell
he
you
did
one
get Josh
thing.
Jacobs too. Man, them both of them guys weren't on your roster until pretty much before the year.
In our draft, I'm gonna be running back heavy.
Oh
Yeah. I always
yeah.
am. I'm always running back heavy, and it just carries along. I'm gonna definitely look at since it's full PPR though. These pass catchers gonna mean a lot more, but Eckler, like I said, 103 receptions, somebody like that, they could just blow up for you on your dynasty squad.
Right. All right, Kraft. Real quick, I'm gonna just name some players, and y'all just tell me, can it be sustained? Nick Chubb at number 6. You saying it could be sustained, Kraft man?
Yeah,
Chris?
Yeah.
I say hell no, man. Hell no.
he's done it. Let me look up Chubb's finishes since he started playing.
He's
Just
old,
to get,
man.
I
He's
don't care.
old.
All right,
The new wave is here.
since Nick Chubb has started, it depends on what kind of league you're in, but in PPR, he's finished since 2018. He was the RB 17, RB 8, 11, 13, and 6. So I would say Nick Chubb is and Kareem Hunt will be gone, and Dearness Johnson will probably be gone. So I would expect him to be right at that bottom half of RB1, RB2 range come next year, like, RB10, something like that. So I guess he can't be sustained if we want to go down like that to RB10.
Sell high, kids. Sell high. He's old, man.
He's the
He's
same, but
27.
All these
he's
guys
only the
are
same age
old.
as Austin Eckler. I mean, yeah.
Man, Austin Eckler, he's a young old man.
And he caught 103 balls compared to 22, so
He's already lost all his hair. He ain't no young man.
So Chris, Nick Chubb, can it be sustained?
I'm with Austin where it can be around like 10. I can see him finishing on the higher side, like before 10, like 8, 9 at the beginning of the year, but I think ultimately he'll end up at 10 because I think we're going to see a little bit of rust on Deshaun at the beginning of the season, and then hopefully as they keep going, he can shake some of it off. Because
Yeah,
Deshaun wants to air out that football. That's what he wants to do.
he better come out ready to play. I don't want to hear no rusty shit. He better be ready.
Yep.
Dude, better. That's all I'm saying. Joe Mixon, number 8 this year. Can that be sustained? Before y'all go, I'm gonna say hell no. It ain't gonna be sustained. The dude scored like 5 touchdowns in one game. Go ahead, Kraft.
I don't like Joe Mixon that much, but I love the Bengals. So, and I like the scoring opportunities that the Bengals present and the rest of their weapons. So, yeah, I think Joe Mixon will be just fine with staying on that team. He's not a free agent or anything like that. He's going to be back next year. Nothing's going to change. Samaje Perine will be the backup. It'll be the exact same ordeal they got this year. The Bengals are one of them teams on offense that's they're bringing back all their pieces that they got this year. They're going to look the exact same. So he could have scored more touchdowns this year also.
Yeah, I think it could be sustained. I mean, I don't think he's going to be having one of those 5 touchdown games like that again. I mean,
he only had 6 rushing touchdowns on the year.
I know he got 5 of them in one game.
You're telling me with Joe Mixon, he had 8 total touchdowns. You don't think that there's a way that Joe Mixon could score 14 touchdowns next year?
I just think he's just trash, bro. I mean, what did he do?
Zeke is trash. Ezekiel Elliott is trash, and he scored.
Zeke is trash.
Shit, he scored 12 touchdowns this year. Mixon can get up into that range. I think. You know one thing. What all these podcasts say? What positive regression? Why don't they just call it progression? I think that Joe Mixon could have some TD progression next year. From going from 8, he could easily get in the double digits.
Yeah, I mean, he did have a good. I mean, he did have a good year. I don't know. Maybe I am sleeping on him a little bit. Only 26 years old too.
Yards. Yeah, only 800 rushing yards.
So,
he can get in that 1,000 range and 14 touchdowns. He could easily get there.
It just seemed like he wasn't that good for long portions of the year. But I don't know, man. All right. So I'm still gonna say I'm gonna just lean towards no. But here's the biggest one: Tony Pollard. Can it be sustained? Like, what's the deal? What we got going on in Dallas? What you say, crap, man?
I think it's going to look at the exact same as it did this year. I think that Zeke will be back. He'll take a pay cut. Zeke will take a little work. At this point, we all know Pollard, and even Dallas knows now. We've seen it in the playoffs that Tony Pollard was going to be the guy. And next year, they're just going to want to keep his legs healthy. You know, they ain't going to run him into the ground. This year, he only had 186 carries. I mean, if you're going to compare that to like Derrick Henry had 319 and Josh Jacobs had 323. I think that's the recipe for Dallas. You know, as long as they're winning games and getting to the playoffs as a high seed, I don't think they'll change anything from what they did this year because it worked out just fine to get them through the regular season anyway.
All right. Yep. Chris, you on board with that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be sustained for sure. Tony Pollard, I mean, that man looks good out there.
He does, man. He looks so good. Any of these other guys, anybody else you want to talk to as far as like, because there's a lot of guys who are disappointing, like who I think can step back up. Najee. I wouldn't give up on Jonathan Taylor. I wouldn't give up on Swift. Not just yet.
Just to put Tony Pollard into perspective, too, this man had over 1,300 all-purpose yards on like 230 carries, 230 touches, about 240 touches, 1,300 all-purpose yards. That average is something serious. He was averaging 5.3 yards per carry and 9.5 yards per reception this year. So the efficiency was off the charts with Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
One of the best in the game.
Yep. For sure. For sure. For sure. Sail high. Nah, I'm just kidding.
So high.
What else? Y'all want to hop on the wide receivers, or what do you think, Kraft? You want to talk about a few of these guys?
Yeah, Fournette's a fraud. That's
Fraud.
it. And DeAndre Swift finished down there at like RB24. What are y'all doing with Swift in Dynasty right now? Are y'all still holding tight, hoping that he's the next big thing? Because the efficiency was there, but the carries were not. He averaged 5.6 yards per carry this year and 8 yards per reception. When he got the ball, he was very efficient with it. But 93 rushing attempts, he only had 3 games this year where he got over double-digit carries. In every single one of them games, he was like a top 10 running back that week. So
Well, look,
we know what could happen if he gets to work.
I just say sell high if you can, but if you can't, which you probably can't in a lot of leagues, I would just hold out and just hope for. But I'd probably sell him next year if I got the chance. Just always something going on with DeAndre Swift, so sell high if you can. But if you can't hold, he'd probably be pretty good next year anyway. So I mean, he's gotta be better.
I don't think selling high is the thing to go with, though. I think he's more of a buy low at RB24.
I mean, true, but I mean, I'd say sell high because I just sold him for a starting running back and the 107.
And you lost.
To me, that's as high,
that trade.
To me, that's as high as it's gonna be. Pacheco and the 107.
Yeah.
Woo!
Loser.
Trade looking good.
What a loser.
But I don't think you go get that a lot of times right now. Because if I can't get a first round plus, I'm not going to trade DeAndre Swift, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? I would just gear up, get ready for next year, and just hope he's that guy.
Yeah. He's probably a hold, and I'll have a little more confidence in him come next year. Holding on to hope.
Still anybody else you want to hit on, Kraft, man, at the running back spot?
Jonathan Taylor's way down there. He's not going to be there again next year. And Najee. Right. I think Najee's the ultimate buy low.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Great buy low candidate. Are all these guys that we're talking about, are they all worth, like Joe Mixon, what we talked about? What would you pay if you wanted Joe Mixon? Or what would you sell him for in Dynasty if you were going to trade him? Like the 108? Would you sell Joe Mixon for like the 108?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a second rounder, though?
No, man. But like the thing is about running backs is you mostly, if you want a good one, you got to overpay big time. But if they're not like these top guys, like the only running backs you're getting for a second is like Jamal Williams. Like he's old. Like you can pay up a second to get a Jamal Williams, Cordero. These older guys. If you want any of these younger, even somebody like a Damian Pierce, it's probably got to be a first round plus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Joe Mixon, I mean, maybe the 108 gets it done. It would just depend on who I'm targeting in the draft, I guess. Might try to get a little more, 108, a little something, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I guess I know what you mean. I bet none of y'all could guess what running back this year had the highest yards per carry with over 50 rushing attempts. Can y'all? There's 2 of them on my list that I want to talk about as far as how effective they were, but y'all got any guesses?
Definitely not.
Chris?
Go for it.
I'm way too high to be guessed.
Well, Breece Hall, when he was in, averaged 5.8 yards per carry
Yeah.
And James Cook averaged 5.9 yards per carry. So, as much as we watched James Cook, and I just didn't expect that. I didn't expect that number to be that high. But Brees Hall, that's the one I really want to talk about. When he was playing, he was great. So just keep that in mind when it comes dynasty time next year. That when Brees Hall when he was in, he was rolling. So don't want to skip over Brees Hall.
Hell no. I wish I could get him shit. Yeah, Brees Hall was good. Like, it would take a boatload to go get Brees Hall. Like, it would
I
take.
sent 2 first-rounders to try to get Brees Hall. And I feel like I
Yeah.
should have even added more to that. I felt like that was a low.
Like, I'm telling you, man, you want one of them running backs, you better cough it up.
Yeah.
Who else we got? What else we got? But yeah, Brees Hall, man, he's definitely a top.
And Leonard Fournette was the
He's up
worst at
there.
3.5 yards per carry this year.
Well, that's because he's trash, man.
He is trash.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I ain't gonna say he's trash, but man, it's not looking good for him if Tom Brady leaves. I feel like Rashad White was starting to look better. Feel like playoff Lenny ain't gonna be around too much longer with the Buccaneers.
Free agent
But I
Lenny.
don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes though. What else you got, Kraft? Ready to hit this receiving core?
Yeah, we can hit these receivers. You know, we can do a quick skip over these top guys if you want to. All these guys are gonna be there next year. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek, Diggs, AJ Brown, CD. I mean, all these guys are great. Do y'all have anything to say about some of these receivers and just some guys that underperformed or some guys that overperformed that you just don't think belong where they're at this year?
Nah, man, I'm with all that. I'm with all those guys. Heck, we can go a little bit further. I see Michael Thomas here, but like Amon Ra, D Hop, I can roll with that.
Receivers stayed really true this year. They really did. From where they were, the ADPs were last year. I think receivers were very consistent from where you drafted them at this year. Because looking at these top 10 guys, the only ones that really snuck in that wasn't drafted high is like Devontae Smith and Amari Cooper. And those are really the only guys that I feel like when we were doing our rankings that we had, a good bit lower from where they finished, but they still had a great year.
I guess when I look at this list, the main frauds I see is maybe Keenan Allen, just because he missed a lot of games, and then Mike Evans for sure is like the first fraud I see on here. That I mean, he was so bad for so long this year. Him and Tom Brady definitely didn't have that connection this year. So, what you say? You disagree with that, Kraft man?
Nah, I agree with all that. I do think Keenan Allen probably has, another good year under his belt come next year. As far as the most targeted players through the games that he played, he was averaging almost 9 targets a game when he come back. So that's top 10 in all the receivers in football. So he's always been that guy, though. He's always been a target hog, and I think he'll be that way next year as long as he's healthy. But Keenan Allen has been reasonably healthy through the past 5 years. It was just the start of this year he had a rough time, but you're gonna get that. You're just gonna get that out of players. You can't expect everybody to just be healthy all the damn time.
Right. Yep.
That's why
Agreed.
JT is gonna be a boss next year.
Is Amari Cooper a fraud too? At 18?
Ask Chris.
Chris, is Amari Cooper fraudulent? Can it be sustained?
I think he could easily have another 1,000-yard season. I don't know if he's gonna get 9 touchdowns though. I think Njoku and these younger guys, Donovan Peoples-Jones, are gonna be the scoring targets. I could definitely see Njoku having a really good year at tight end.
It'll be the bell of the ball.
What I'm gonna say it can be sustained. I mean, it's only 18 on this list I got, so I'm gonna say it can be sustained. Crap, man, what about you though?
I just think
That's
come
your
next
boy.
year, he shouldn't be fucking rostered next year.
I ain't gonna draft him.
I ain't gonna draft him either. I mean, why would I draft somebody that shouldn't be rostered? I mean,
But
can't draft people like that.
I guess the next one I see on this list that I could consider a fraud is Mike Williams. This Chargers guy is disappointed this year. Mike Williams disappointed. He didn't even hardly play.
So you think he underperformed?
I think he overperformed. Or I mean, like he's 21 on this list. You didn't get a wide receiver number 21 out of Mike Williams this year.
No, it sure as hell didn't feel like it. He only had 59 receptions. He was hurt a little bit, but Mike Williams he's hurt a lot. He's been hurt a lot throughout his career. I feel like Mike Williams, if I had to compare him to anybody, he's like the more badass Gabe Davis.
That's what we say. That's what we've been saying.
He's like,
and that's because whenever I say about Gabe Davis, I'm like, he's like a more extreme version of Mike Williams. That's what I say.
Poor man
got a lot in common.
Poor man, Mike Williams.
So, yep, I'm with you on that, man. Them two guys, they got way too much in common. You couldn't pay me to get I've been trying to get Mike Williams on the low, but I was thinking about Gabe Davis the other day, and I was like, I'll give up a third, maybe. I ain't giving up a second.
Well, out of these rookie guys that come in this year, not this new rookie class, but last year's rookie class, name a receiver that could finish in the top 5. Do you think Garrett Wilson has the talent to get up to like the top 5? Not probability, but just it could happen.
I'm gonna say it could. With a
Is he
quarterback
the only
upgrade.
one?
Nah, man. I could see. I'm gonna say no on Olave, but I could see Drake London maybe.
In the top 5? Like
It all comes down to the Falcons. If the Falcons will throw the ball a little bit, I'm gonna say yeah.
I would actually be backwards. I could see Olave, but I just don't think
Drake London. No, there ain't no way.
Man, y'all just Falcon haters.
Play action punt. I watched it all season, and it's gonna keep happening.
If they keep doing the same what they've been doing, it ain't gonna matter. But Drake London was getting a lot of targets from Ritter at the end of the year.
No to Christian Watson. What about Jameson Williams? I know we didn't see a lot of them.
Man, I'm gonna just say it's a possibility. But I mean, top 5, that's crazy. So I'm gonna just say Garrett Wilson is the main one.
I think so too. I think Garrett Wilson's kind of a leg up on all these guys. Yeah. I'm looking down this list. There's a lot of guys that overperformed, and some guys are about right where they should be. Michael Pittman definitely underperformed this year. 96 receptions, but only 9 yards per reception.
Yeah,
which is terrible.
For sure.
Absolutely terrible. Freaking fraud is what he is.
It's one of my biggest disappointments of this year. I had that dude. I thought for sure that dude was going to be in the top 12.
Same.
Y'all remember Deontay Johnson, how terrible his yards per reception was and how many targets he got? He still averaged more yards per reception than Michael Pittman. Adam Thielen averaged more yards per reception than Michael Pittman. Tyler Boyd, Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, I ain't never seen a player have that many receptions and finish that low in fantasy rankings on a year. Almost 100 receptions this year. And wasn't even in the top, 24. Awful.
Yeah, that shit is crazy, man. Any other wide receivers y'all want to touch on real quick?
Chris, you got anybody at the top of your head? I think George Pickens could take a major step up next year, also. And my boy Darnell Mooney.
Man, sell high. Oh, George Pickens, sell high, man. Dude's getting way too much hype.
What about Mooney?
Buy low. Buy low. Oh,
Avoid
Mooney.
completely. Y'all already know. In the other segment, I said avoid. I'm staying on that.
Buy low.
I'm about to go send a 3rd round pick to Zamil for Mooney and see if he'll give him to me.
I'd send a late second easily. I'd send a mid second.
Zamil, I got 2 late seconds. I'll give you 1 for Mooney. He probably don't even listen this far back. He's probably like, they did an hour or so. He probably don't even listen at all, for all I know. But Z, if you're listening, let me get Mooney. Yep. Anybody else, Crab Man?
No, the other guys suck.
Just move all tight end. Just touch up on these tight ends and then wrap it up, man. Unless y'all want to hit on a few kickers tonight. I mean, it's up to y'all.
Tight ends, kickers, they're both irrelevant. So let's talk about both of them. Shit.
Shoot, and points per game. I don't know what y'all's list says, but I got Kelsey, Kittle, Hawkinson, Andrews, and Goddard.
Kelsey at 19 points per game. The next best was 13 points per game.
Well, shoot, that might not be sustained from Kelsey, but you know what? Him being the tight end 1 can be sustained. But heck, the numbers could probably be sustained too. So Kelsey, till I die.
My dumb ass tried to put Mark Andrews over Kelsey in my rankings last year. That shit was looking good first 3 weeks, and then just fell the hell off. And Kelsey just did what he does. Tell y'all one thing, Kelsey in the playoffs is damn near unstoppable. That's my prize picks god right there. I'd always take his receptions in the playoffs. He had 14 receptions last week.
I take his receptions and I take Dak throwing an interception every time. And you see Dak 0.5 INTs, you can hit that bitch on prize picks every game, especially in the playoff.
San Fran, you could almost get that shit up to 1.5, and I'd still take it.
I was just about to say that. You could probably do 1.5 and take it. He's gonna throw 2. Shit, he should have thrown 3. That dude should have caught that ball.
Oh, yeah, I've been a pick 6 too.
Yeah.
George Kittle. I think George Kittle's a fraud here at number 2.
You're crazy, man.
Fraudulent. He was pretty bad all year. Shows up with Brock Purdy. Shows up, week 17. Everything's over.
Kittle's so good, though. When you watch him play, y'all can't say that Kittle, when you actually watch a full game with him, he got to be one of the best tight ends in the league, right? Blocking wise, he's the best tight end in the league.
Blocking don't score fantasy points, damn it.
I know, but
that is what hindered him at the beginning of the year too. When Trent Williams was hurt, he was blocking a good bit, and he didn't run that many routes.
But Trent Williams is back, and he stopped Micah Parsons in his tracks.
I'd say there is 2 or 3 touchdowns that this dude scored, and it's on the same play. And he'd just be wide open. And Brock Purdy just throws him the ball. I think it'll benefit him next year if they keep Brock Purdy as a starter until Lance comes back. I mean, I think it'll benefit Kittle.
I do agree.
San Fran's gonna smack them fucking Eagles this weekend, by the way. They're gonna smack them.
I think the Eagles
smack them up and down the field. They're just gonna little bitches, man. Eagles.
At 3, 4, and 5, got Hawkinson, Andrews, Goddard. Can that be sustained? 3, 4, 5?
Yes.
I'm going to say yes. All right, so let's get down here. My next guy on the list, and the first one is Zach Ertz. Can that be sustained? He was with the Cardinals. That shit's all blown up. Cliff Kingsbury's down. He's gone. What you think? They drafted a rookie last year.
Zach Ertz will be the bridesmaid this year.
Right.
To Trey McBride. So, yeah. I think Trey McBride will be the dude He looked good at the end of the year. I think Trey McBride's a buy low tight end right now in Dynasty.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram, can that one be sustained? Maybe if he re-signs with Jacksonville. I'm gonna say yeah.
Throwing him the ball, I think so.
I just have a hard time with him, man. Like the unpredictability with Ridley coming in. You're gonna have Ridley and Zay Jones and Christian Kirk, and then you got Evan Ingram there. Like, where does he factor in that offense when Calvin Ridley comes? And
Dude,
he'll
I'm gonna
have
be
some
real.
games.
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like they draw it up for Evan Ingram, man. I mean, they're actually getting this guy touches and shit down here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, he had 94 targets, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, 6 most targets at tight end this year. So,
Went on that stretch where he went 7, 15, 10, and 8. I mean, that shit's insane.
He destroyed me in he's the reason I lost in my Yahoo League in the divisional round. No, the championship round, sorry. The game before the championship, Evan Ingram scored about 27 on my ass and killed me.
Man, I'm ready for some fantasy football, man. Shit. Tired of this year. It's like Chris said in that last episode.
It just ended, man.
Chris said he didn't give a fuck about the Super Bowl and shit. I'm with
I
it,
ain't
man.
gonna
Fuck
lie.
this shit.
After I lost in them championship, I needed about 2 weeks to grieve for a minute. Y'all didn't hear much out of me about doing podcasts and stuff.
I get my trophy so I can bring that bitch on the pod, dude. I'm gonna be holding the trophy, just stroking it.
Oh, God.
Man, what y'all think, man? Y'all ready to wrap it up? Y'all want to hit it? You got a tight end you want to touch on real quick?
I think Njoku is still, as far as the dynasty rankings go in the startup drafts, from where he was ranked last night when we did our mock.
Yep.
I think you should keep an eye on Mike Gesicki's situation. I think if he goes somewhere that utilizes him, he might be a nice little pickup. Because I mean, Mike Gesicki for cheap as hell right now. Because I remember we were talking before that Miami only threw to the tight end 14% the whole year.
There is one guy that I would say get rid of in Dynasty if you got him, and that's Hayden Hurst. He's a free agent. And I think he's in a good spot with Cincinnati. If he goes somewhere else, I don't know. I think it might be a good try to dump Hayden Hurst in like a premium and try to get a little something for him right now because nobody's really paying attention to tight end free agents. We know about the running backs, but Hayden Hurst could definitely be gone next year.
Right. Agreed. So that was pretty much our episode of Can It Be Sustained? Called out a few frauds. Well, pretty much when it comes to recapping this next year, I think after we'll do our little full breakdowns, but we'll leave this year in the past, I think, after those breakdowns. So, keep listening to the podcast, people. Crap, man. What we got to say to these people, man?
Nothing much. Keep listening to us. We're going to have some good content coming out. Every week from here on out, we're probably going to get up to come March before the NFL draft and free agency starts to hit in the NFL. We're definitely going to drop another episode here soon talking about free agents and possible landing spots for some of these guys to help y'all navigate your trades in Dynasty right now, because I know people ain't patient. They're not going to wait for landing spots. You can send out a bunch of trades right now and see if you can take advantage.
Oh, yeah. No cap, bro.
Right?
Man. I'm with you, man. I'm just laughing at my dumb ass just being stupid. Yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I just kind of wasn't even listening. I was just like looking at shit. I'm like looking at Chris's background, all the toys back there, and then I just wasn't even listening to what the hell you was just saying.
You had a couple tractors, a fire truck. What else?
So I was like,
man?
damn.
Got a little chair right there, and then right over here I got the little playpen set up in the corner.
Yeah, the baby's in there. He just got the baby contained right now in that little pen. Like,
Nah, baby's in bed.
like
Got
I'm
the
recording,
monitor
baby.
Look.
I'm recording.
I'd be looking, I'm
Stay
like,
in
he
that
started
pen.
moving, and I was just looking. I was like, please don't wake up. Please don't wake up.
You hear that
It's
little
hilarious.
Dada. Eh.
I don't even hear that. He just gets and crawls out of the bed and goes and waits by the dog gate that we have.
That's funny. Okay, yeah, I remember what Kraft was saying. Just check out our shit. We'll be breaking it down. We're gonna be, doing a lot of shit. Got a lot of stuff coming out. So yeah, Chris, man, what we got to say to these folks?
And just join this Discord, the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Get on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. For
Hell
sure.
Yep.
Come jump on the podcast with us. Yeah.
Hit the review. Hit us with the 5-star review.
Yeah, big time. I'd say just come on the podcast with us, peeps. Come on here and chop it up with us. We always asking people to hop on and shit. Shoot, I hit a couple people up tonight. Nobody want to answer. What's up? What's up, Kraft, man? People don't like us. You had Ian. He backed out on us. What's up, man?
When you find NFL Blitz on the old Xbox, it's kind of hard to, pass that up. It's hard to pass that up. Play some NFL Blitz, some NBA Jam, some Mario, some Donkey Kong. Kind of hard.
I used to play the NFL Blitz on the Nintendo 64. I used to be
That's what I thought he was talking about, the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what it is. I think it is on the N. I think he did say he was on the N64 with that big ass 3-prong remote that's about this big. You hold it like this.
Yeah. Hey, man, at work I was seeing those little arcade games with the NFL Blitz. You know what I'm talking about? And I was like, it was like right before Christmas. I was like, oh shit, I want this. This is what I want. I was like, dang, I'd be sitting in there playing that shit. We'll just put it right here in the living room. I'll watch football and play NFL Blitz.
What was your favorite arcade game though? Like growing up? Skee ball? Air hockey?
I can't even say, man. Probably air hockey for real though. I'm undefeated in some parts.
Did you like anything in the arcade?
Yeah.
Because it was Mortal Kombat for me, dude. That shit. The original. On the fucking...
I do remember that back in the day. I used to play them games too, though, at the arcades. Arcades used to be a thing, kids.
Yeah. I used to like hiding out in the ball pit and scaring the fuck out of people, There's some nasty shit you can find at the bottom of them ball pits, though, like, condoms, shit like that. You gotta watch out. You gotta watch out at the bottom of them ball pits, man. Things are gross.
I ain't seen a ball pit in years. I was about to say, I ain't even seen one in a while. But shit, man, let's just wrap it on up, man. Add us on everything. Thanks for listening to the podcast, man. We out.
See y'all.
See y'all.
Oh, man.